A $200 iRacing simulator versus a $27,000 iRacing simulator. So that's the topic on today's show, and realistically by the end of it, we're gonna find out which one is better. Yeah, I know, you might be surprised. The $200 one might be better than you think. Well, it's so good to see you guys and have you here hanging out with us today on the channel. If you're an OG viewer, you remember the days of when I used to actually create some iRacing content here in my room.
I'm so excited because this is the first ever official Tanner Holmes iRacing meetup.
Literally crazy times back during the pandemic. Even before that, man, I used to play every single night. I mean, I made just a couple of videos, but I used to play for hours and hours and hours. And trust me, kids, enjoy your late night gaming sessions with your buddies while you're young, because unfortunately, the times, they just don't last forever. Eventually, life changes. All right, so here we go. Look at this beauty. Looking up close here at the wheel, you can see it's custom. We got grip over here. I don't know what happened to the grip here. So this is the same steering wheel from all my old iRacing videos, a PlayStation Thrustmaster T150. I probably should have done research before this video, but I want to see how much these cost, if they went down in price or... Okay, so they're about the same, like 180 bucks, 200 bucks. I think I purchased this one for 200. And that's for the entire wheel. And then of course the pedals come with it. Anyway, that's a first-hand look at what like a $200 simulator looks like. And I can tell you this was good enough for so much fun. The force feedback's it's almost the type that when you crash, as my good friend Bennett would say, it literally snaps your wrist, tries to break your arms. And speaking of Bennett, here's a look at his setup that I believe costs under $200 and is over 20 years old.
All right, so here is my sim racing area set up right here. We got the Logitech Momo racing wheel and pedal set. This thing literally came out in 2001 in October, and it is over 23 years old. This thing was built back when there was no restrictions on the force feedback. It will literally break your wrist if you have it turned all the way up. So I do not run it. Tanner's used it at his house. This thing's a classic. I still use it today, and it's awesome.
So the force feedback's maybe not as real, but like I said, good enough to have some fun. Of course, by the time you add up my computer, which this thing's nothing crazy, I couldn't even tell you what it is, but that's definitely more than 200 bucks. But in total, our steering wheel, our pedals, plus the throttle spring, this setup right here is 200 bucks. And now if we leave Oregon and head about halfway across the country to the PRI show in Indianapolis, Indiana, here is a look at a $27,000 full iRacing motion simulator. So we are rolling up to Sim Alley, where the best and most expensive simulators are in the entire world. I just have to ask, what's the price tag on this? What's the price tag?
These sim are 27 grand.
27,000?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Now to run a few laps, this is a $27,000 full motion, 3 inches of motion, you said? 3 inches of motion simulator here. Now, as I was sitting in this thing, of course, it is fully adjustable for any size person. I was just kind of getting fitted so I could run a few laps. As I was rolling out on track, I won't lie, this initial feeling here was really weird. You know, I've only ever played iRacing where I couldn't really feel anything and not even feel much in the steering wheel, but to actually be moving around as you get on the throttle, almost kick you back in the seat. It was interesting to say the least. So right away, just wanted to make a couple laps, kind of get right up by the wall and get comfortable. So we're here at what is going to be our first race of 2025. We've been talking a lot about iRacing on today's show, and now it's time to talk about truck accessories. Now, DZ makes quality truck accessories that are available all across the entire world. You saw their logo on my AT&T Sprint car throughout 2024. They were a huge part of our Knoxville design. They just have a gorgeous logo that totally fit in with our brand, but they were founded in 1977 and have grown from a small business into an absolute empire. Like I said, you can find their truck accessories, side steps, roof rails, toolboxes, transfer tanks, truck bed protection, and so much more. You can find them anywhere in the United States. You can find them all across the world, and it's really cool that we have a partnership with them. They're located there right not far from Knoxville, in Des Moines, Iowa, and they are a trusted brand by automakers and consumers everywhere. So very thankful to have their support. If you guys would like to check out DZ products or find a dealer for their products close to you, check out the link at the top of the description. And now we are going to get back into the simulation. As I really got going, the main thing I noticed is how I actually reacted different just because I could feel a little bit more about the car. This meant that as I got close to the wall, I was maybe a little more tense, or I actually was getting off the throttle until I finally could actually trust it and then get my right rear up and just try to kind of rip around the cushion. But when you have more of that seat in the pants feeling, it definitely makes you act different than if you were just playing a video game.
No, it's going.
Oh, it's still going?
Shoot, that was fun. That was cool. It's reset now. So there's a look at it. That thing was pretty cool. So they said $27,000 for this simulator. And it feels like a workout, almost you get arm pump in there, probably because it's so tense and there's so much force feedback and your body's being thrown around, but definitely a little, you know, a little bit more of a seat in the pants feeling of what it's like to be in a sprint car. Awesome, thank you. Hey, thank you so much. That's pretty cool. If you're here and you're a race fan, that is definitely worth trying. You just walk up and do it.
So after seeing that comparison side by side, I want to know your thoughts. Okay, this next part of the video, I got to be honest, that full motion sim rig was amazing. It was actually really cool. Of course, that thing's better than my little $200 wheel, but I also at the same time think it'd be weird to play on that thing all the time. I guess you kind of just get used to it. No different than actually when I got used to this thing. The only way to make this a motion sim is just to have someone shake the chair while you race. But like I was saying, you do just kind of get used to your setup. So I'm sure if you played on that rig all the time, it would just feel so normal to you. Just like when I played on this thing, like it didn't matter the settings. Once I dialed it in, I felt like I could actually rip pretty well. But yes, that was simply amazing just to be able to walk up and hop on and run a few laps. And that's how it is at the PRI show. So if you're a big fan of sim racing, there's quite a few sim racers there, and that area is just packed the entire time. Not only with dirt, asphalt racing, road course, off-road, like the whole 9 yards. There's all sorts of racers there just looking for their chance to, you know, like I said, turn some laps for fun and try out the different simulators and companies. And I had never ran anything like that before, so just glad that I checked that off my bucket list. But that's a $200 simulator versus a $27,000 one. Let us know if you plan on ordering the one for $27,000 and having it shipped directly to your front door. My goal one day would be so cool to have one of those in the house. Maybe one day we will be able to get one of those for the race shop, but in between now and then we got a lot of hard work to do. All right, I'll see you guys all in the next one. 2025 is right around the corner. Deuces.